So the bands are settling into the stands, and the fans are coming back from the concession stands, and we're just about set for the second half of action. Both teams are still on the sideline as Virginia Tech on top here at halftime, 10-7. Some of the fans in the stands now as the sun's behind the cloud. Kim McQuilkin, what do you expect here in the second half?
Well, I think that Clemson has to throw the ball and throw the ball early. First and second down if they're going to move it against a very tough Virginia Tech defense. Offensively for Virginia Tech, they've got to keep mixing it up the way they did the first half. They only came up with 10 points, but the key was they kept the Clemson offense off the field. So they're going to try to continue their possession-type game, the short pass, the play-action pass. That's been very effective for them.
Bob Thomas, a senior, 5'9", 200 pounds, is awaiting the kickoff there at his goal line. Igwebuike set to kick off to get the second half underway. And Donald comes forward. Deep in the end zone, will not run it out. The Hokies take over from the 20-yard line. That hasn't been a problem as far as the Hokie offense is concerned, starting deep in their own territory in this game.
Well, they, in the first half, went 96 yards.
Taking the ball from their own 4-yard line at the time and went 16 plays all the way to the touchdown. Snell comes to the near side. It's Becton, the tailback, and Bo is the blocking fullback. Jones steps off the line of scrimmage and is in motion as Cox goes to the near side. That's Snell. Good first down gain on the play, Ken. Doing about what you expected Clemson to be doing.
Well, this is the kind of play that has kept Clemson off balance. On first down, just a quick rollout pass. Wide receiver 82, Donald Snell, just took 3 steps, turned, looked for the ball, made the reception, got good yardage after the catch. 2nd and 4 is not a bad play call.
Snell out of the ball game. Ellsworth comes in along with Nelson, the wingback. Davis forcing him out of bounds, but not before 6 yards. 2nd and 4. Back to Becton. Becton on a good one-on-one tackle by Kenny Danforth.
Here's Mark Becton on the carry. Tackle by Ricky Pleasant.
Get an idea as to how the number of tackles by the 2 big men up front for each team. Perry with 5 tackles in that first half.
And there you see Perry, of course, number 1 in the nation in tackles for loss. Smith, number 2, keeping pace with one another. Really haven't heard too much from Bruce Smith in the first half.
He's been double teamed in the blocking assignments most every time that we noticed. Let's correct the last tackle. Reggie Pleasant with a very fine one-on-one move, but not before the first down at the 30-yard line for the Hokies. The pitch back to Becton. Nice cut in. Gains 4 on the play. Chucky Richardson, number 56, the linebacker, along with Steve Berlin, combining for the stop.
Fourth quarter score, Florida 27.
Well, the toss sweep. Nigel Bowe out in front. Good block by Bowe that time. Blocking on Terrence Mack, the bandit. And didn't look like much, but Tech picks up 4 yards on first down.
Number 60, the right guard. Doing a fine job, too, in the blocking. Tom Mayer. 2nd and 6 from the 34. Cox, the throws. Got his man in the open. Jones, but a good defensive move that time by Danforth, I believe. Kenny Danforth going high in the air against Jones, who stands 6'4".
Well, Clemson's playing a 2-deep zone. Both safeties have a half of the field. The place to go with the football against that zone is to the tight end down the middle of the field. But there you see Kenny Danforth broke on the ball nicely and broke up the play.
Here's William Perry taking it on one-on-one with Mark Johnson, the center.
Well, pretty good job by Johnson. Notice the position of his hands right in front of himself, keeping his legs balanced. He did a nice job that time on William Perry.
3rd and 6 at the 34. The fullback with a football. No first down as Bowe is met by Terrence Mack, the bandit. So that'll bring Cox back into the ball game. He has 2 punts, averaging 42 yards.
Well, they try to run right at William Perry. There you see the double team. They cut his legs out from under him, but as is normally, that was Vincent Johnson that time in the game blocking on William Perry, but when you double team Perry, somebody else is free. Clemson makes the stop.
Mark and Vincent Johnson double teaming on William Perry, and David Cox comes into the ball game. Pleasant takes a line drive shot that goes back to the 20. Good coverage, though. Has nowhere to run. Stopped at the 25-yard line by Ray Fitz. So with the score, Virginia Tech 10, Clemson 7. Let's pause for this word from your local station. Griffin at tailback with Epley at quarterback, 1st and 10 from their 24-yard line. Clemson offense trying to solve a few problems right now. Handoff went to Flagler, Terrence Flagler, my correction. Flagler at tailback. And Jesse Penn makes the stop. Well, that's almost hard to believe. No first downs rushing in the first half for Clemson. Flagler now 3 carries for 14 yards. Griffin had 3 carries for 6 yards. Flowers 4 carries for 9 yards. How about that Russian defense? 2nd and 5 from the 29. That's Flagler. And he's met hard by Bruce Smith, number 78. There's your Lombardi candidate.
Well, here we see Bruce Smith. Here comes Andy Cheatham down the line of scrimmage, trapping on Smith. Smith takes it on right at the line of scrimmage, sheds the block, and makes the tackle on Flagler.
5th tackle for a loss. He has 14 sacks.
That's an All-American play right there.
Great speed. Only wears a size 14 shoe. 3rd down and 7 at the 27. The rush is on. That could be a lateral. But no one goes for the football. It was intended for the guy out of the backfield, Terrence Flagler. Great rush that time by Morgan Roan.
Well, Morgan Roan almost came up with that football. They tried to slip screen to Epley's right, but Roan smelled it, got himself into position where Epley could not complete the ball.
Well, the Hokie fans have smiles on their faces. Their team has done a terrific job. Dale Hatcher into the ball game to punt with Billy Myers, the deep man, at the 34-yard line. Hatcher gets plenty of time, and it's a high floater that Myers is going to have to call a fair catch on at the 29-yard line. And that's where the Hokies will take over. Another great punt by Dale Hatcher. With the score, Virginia Tech 10, Clemson 7. We'll pause now for a word from your local station. Coach Bill Dooley on the sideline on a 1st and 15 now from the 35. Cox, short drop, unloads it. That's Williams. He's got great speed. Fumbles the football out of bounds. And Maurice Williams takes it almost to the 45-yard line where Mike Isaacs meets him there.
Well, 1st and 15, I really like Bill Dooley's call here. Cox is going to set up over his left guard. They're going to throw the throwback to Maurice Williams on 1st down. Get him the ball, give him some time to run with it. He breaks a couple of tackles, fumbles the ball out of bounds. He picked up 8 yards on that play. 2nd and 7, now you're within range of making that 1st down.
From the 43-yard line, Jones is split to the near side. So everybody on the flanks. That's Jones. And the big guy hauls it in, and let's see where they place the football. It's good enough for the 1st down. Gets it by about a yard before Perry Williams can come up and bounce him out of bounds.
Well, even though Joe Jones is a tight end and he's 6'4", 247 pounds, he's the kind of athlete that is versatile enough to play outside. Virginia Tech throughout this ball game has been splitting him out wide, lining him up in a slot sometimes. He gets open from that position. Very unusual for a big guy, but he's doing a great job.
Oh, some cutie pies in contrast to the battle on the gridiron right now. 1st and 10 from the 49-yard line, the Hokies. 10:27 3rd quarter. That's Maurice Williams on the carry. Nice spinning move that time as he drags Craig Crawford with him across the 45 down to the 44-yard line. Another good gain. William Perry also in the play.
Well, here you see Virginia Tech. They pull their left guard. That's number 62, Vincent Johnson. He's leading the way. But Maurice Williams, just on his own, slithering, slicing, clawing his way. He got 5 yards that time.
Bechter is back in at tailback now for Williams on a 2nd and 4 from the 43. That's Bechter. Close to the first down, but not good enough as he gets to the 40-yard line before Michael Perry clamps him there. So the Hokies, with 9:33 in the third quarter, doing just what they did in the first half, control the football. Dominating with almost 20 minutes of the first half. And giving a very fine defense lots of rest. 3rd and 1. Fullback Bo, he's got the first down. Milton the tackle. First down, Virginia Tech. The Clemson defense off balance.
Well, just good line thrust by Virginia Tech. Nothing fancy about this play. Number 48, Nigel Bo, straight up the middle. Man-on-man blocking and good surge.
Greg Brooks, a nice block, too, as far as the picking off the bandit.
First down would be a great opportunity here to go up top.
From the 35-yard line, there we go with Beckton. Beckton showing great speed and a fine hit, but a yellow flag on the play. Ronald Watson coming in hard. Keith Williams had hands all over Beckton.
Well, I said it was a great opportunity to go up top. It's also a great opportunity to gain 9 yards on the ground when you've got your offensive line firing out the way Virginia Tech did that time. There you see Beckton breaking tackles. Here comes Eldridge Milton. Looks like he may have grabbed a face mask.
That's too bad because Ronald Watson had the good head-on-head hit that followed. Berlin comes out of the ball game.
There's Tom Harper, the defensive coordinator for Clemson. He's got to be a bit frustrated because Virginia Tech has really held the ball here early in the second half.
Wells, Michael Perry, William Perry along that front line along with John Jensen. On the 1st and 10 from the 41, or 21 rather, and good pursuit by Michael Perry. Beckton had nowhere to go.
There's the tight end, Joe Jones, blocking on the line of scrimmage. Now what the defensive end does is string it out. That's Jeff Wells, I believe, number 88. And he strung the play out, which allowed Perry to come up with the pursuit from the inside.
The Hokies, though, still have the football. 2nd and 13 at the 24 after 10 plays in this drive. Cox back to a look again. He's got his man, and Terrence Mack intercepted. A little slow on the release. Terrence Mack gets the turnover for Clemson, his 3rd interception of the year. The ball was intended for Alan Thomas, and the young man from Whitby, West Virginia, number 80.
Well, they bring Alan Thomas in motion and try to bring him underneath the coverage. There you see the crisscross. Cox never saw Terrence Mack. He was looking at Thomas all the way, threw back across the field. Terrence Mack just dropped back into his zone. He's in the right place at the right time. Big interception for Clemson.
Taking over at their own 18-yard line. 7:42 remaining here in the third quarter. Flagler, the tailback. Bounces off, but can't go around. The cornerback on the play, Brian Burley, playing in Bob Thomas's spot there.
Just good, tough defense against the rush.
Henry Carter in at fullback. That's good to see. He left with a slight limp early in the first half on the special teams hit. Epley drops back on the 2nd and 8. Has his man Ray Williams short of the first down. But a nice catch as he's bounced out of bounds by Ray Fitz.
Well, we mentioned that we haven't heard much from Bruce Smith. One of the reasons is he's being doubled and triple teamed. There you see him coming up the middle. He's got the double team on him. Epley really stood up in the pocket, had a nice release on that ball, put the ball on the money to Ray Williams. There's Bruce Smith. There you see 3 guys working on him. Reese Cheatham got a piece of him. Dale Swing. Now they've got a 3rd and 1.
At the 27-yard line. I don't think they got it. Henry Carter. Hokies say they got the football, and but the officials are saying no, that he was down.
Smith thinks they didn't get it.
Morgan Roan.
I wouldn't argue with the man. I mean, he's 275 pounds.
So it's a 4th and 1. And they're going to put the punter in.
Well, here you see Virginia Tech blitzing up the middle. Look at that. Number 32. That's Vince Daniels, the linebacker. He's the man that made initial contact in the backfield. It's the reason Henry Carter came up short on the first down.
Danny Ford on the sideline, not looking happy at all as Hatcher comes in after 5 punts, averaging 47 yards, is going to reach back, hopefully, for a great one. I'm speaking from his point of view. Billy Myers is deep back at the 34-yard line. The Hokies are looking forward to some good field position. Not that that's mattered to them in this ball game. Hatcher floating one deep. Myers has to call for the fair catch back at the 24-yard line. That was K.D. Dunn that was blasting through, but he didn't hit it very hard. It was unintentional. Gave him time to make the catch anyway, and with 6:43 still remaining in the third quarter, it's still Virginia Tech 10, Clemson 7. More great hang time by Dale Hatcher, 4.8 seconds, but the Hokies have the ball back again. They're at their 25. It's Beckton, the tailback. He gets to the outside. What great speed. First down or more out of bounds at the 40-yard line. Reggie Pleasant called upon for another hit. And they want a late hit call on that sideline. Bill Dooley a little excited along with the assistant coach.
I tell you, coaches always want to put that helmet on, don't they, and get back out there. The key to that play was Donald Snell, the wide receiver. He made a great block, which enabled Beckton to get around the corner.
The Hokies 10-7 in this ball game with 6:35 remaining in the third quarter. They have completely stymied the Clemson offense, and their offensive unit has been able to control the football. Back to Maurice Williams. A very fine sophomore tailback is dragged down after a gain of about 3 or 4 yards in the play by Mike Isaacs. Tyrone Davis also helping out on the play on number 2.
The toss sweep, there you see the guard, Tom Meir, pulling. Good cut block by Meir. That was on Chucky Richardson, but here they come. Mike Isaacs from the inside. Good pursuit by the Clemson defense. Not much of a gain.
2nd and 6 at the 42-yard line. Cox looking for the short one, gets it away to Jones, and he steps out at midfield. Making sure he goes out of bounds is Tyrone Davis.
Here are the linebackers. There's not too much you can do when you're an inside linebacker on this play because it's just a 3-step drop. Jones goes down about 5 yards, turns around. Cox is putting the ball right on the money. There's really no way to stop that play.
1st and 10 at midfield. Howell's in the slot to the far side. Ellsworth, the split receiver, cuts back on the sweep by Williams. Good defensive pursuit that time, coming up quickly and handling the play well. Chucky Richardson and Dwayne Meadows from his right tackle spot.
This is the play that I recall O.J. Simpson running so well. You get the ball to the tailback deep in the eye, make it look like it's coming over the guard, pull the guard, and then kick it outside. This time, Clemson defense, Chucky Richardson's there. Good pursuit that time.
Ellsworth on that cutback block had a nice one on Richardson. 2nd and 10 now for the Hokies. That's Nelson on the reverse. But sniffing it out was number 49, Craig Crawford.
Well, that's 4 times now for the reverse into the short side of the field and no gain. Maybe they're keeping somebody honest. They may be setting something up here.
Clarence Nelson from Richmond, Virginia.
That was really, excuse me, Art, but Craig Crawford disrupting that play in the backfield.
So, a loss of a yard, and it's 3rd and 11. Look for upstairs now. Cox has been effective on 3rd down plays. Crawford with the rush. Michael Perry, but he steps inside, lets it go, and a nice play at the last minute by Ronald Watson. He has one interception this year, and he wanted another one that time. The 8th pass interruption of the season for Watson. And so the defense does the job here, Kim.
Watson's one of the leaders in the ACC at breaking up passes. Cox has to step up. You know, he shows nice mobility there, stepping up into the pocket, kind of sidearms it. But Ron Watson really had a nose for the football that play, made a big play.
Cox averaging 42.3 yards in the previous 3 kicks. Will be punting. And it's a beautiful high floater that Pleasant has to call for the fair catch. Has no intention of catching, and almost Nelson had a shot, maybe, if he'd have known where the football was, of downing it about the 1 or 2 yard line. 4 minutes, 23 seconds remaining, 3rd quarter, with the score, Virginia Tech 10, Clemson 7. Butler and Rulak, the wideouts. Epley on the option. Barry hands off up front on the option to Kenny Flowers, the first man through.
Well, and just like, well, we've got it on the replay here, but what's effective is Epley and what he does after he hands the ball off. Now, there's good running by Kenny Flowers, but what really helped him was Epley's faking. I know you followed Epley down the line of scrimmage, so did I. I thought he still had the ball.
Yeah, he was swinging his arms just like he had the football as normal. 2nd and 5, a good 5-yard gain by the fullback. Epley. And the trail man, Driver, was completely covered by number 96, Jesse Penn. So really, Epley had nothing to do but eat the football as Bruce Smith, number 78, gets credit for the tackle. Look at those awesome statistics by Bruce Smith.
122 of those unassisted. Showing his versatility that time, getting outside, helping to stop the play. There's my transportation home after the game.
1:52 left in the 3rd quarter. Epley. He's got Butler. What a play. On the 3rd and 7, Butler gets the first down. Leon Gordon finally making the tackle.
Well, this is a great shot by Mike Epley. Straight back in the pocket, 7-step drop. You're going to see him really step up and put this ball right on the money. It's a zone defense. Butler found the opening. Nice catch by Butler coming across the middle. Leon Gordon finally bringing him down.
And additional yardage pounded on now with a penalty. Unsportsmanlike conduct.
I really like the way Epley stood up in the pocket that time. Had his feet underneath and really put a lot onto that ball.
This time of the year, Clemson now moving to your left is looking right into the sunshine. 1:45 remaining 3rd quarter. Donald Igwebuike on the sideline. He knows his team is only 3 points down. Epley looking for the short drop, or the short pass anyway. It was looking for K.D. Dunn and couldn't really find him. Good coverage as the rush was coming up the middle.
Well, it's good instincts by Epley. That's the man he should go to. Both sides rolled up. That means to say both wide receivers had double coverage. K.D. Dunn's the guy to go to, but Epley a little off balance, didn't quite have the time to get the ball to him.
Nelson was back, and Daniels was on the run up the middle from that linebacker core. So it's a 2nd and 10 now from the 32. Sheldon Boyer and Ray Williams, the wideouts.
Another spot for the tight end.
And he can't hold on to a nice pass. K.D. Dunn was anticipating the hit, I believe.
Well, Virginia Tech used the same coverage they used on last play. They double covered both wide receivers. That leaves the tight end open in the slot, and K.D. Dunn just not able to hold on to that one.
1:30 in the 3rd quarter, and brings up a very important 3rd and 10.
You can bet that Terrence Rulak will be double covered in situations like this.
Burley immediately goes over to cover him near the line as Epley hands off and caught behind the line. Kenny Flowers by Morgan Roll. Good shoestring job. And we'll have the field goal unit come in.
Well, here you see the draw play. Pretty good play action that time by Epley. Defensive line not fooled, however.
Igwebuike, the placement looks like it'll be the 39-yard line, so we're going for a 49-yarder. Igwebuike with the leg. He's got 10 field goals in his career of 50 yards or more. The kick is up, and the kick is long enough. It is good. With 51 seconds remaining, we've got a penalty on the play. It'll be roughing the kicker, so that'll be taken off on the kick out. Let's take another look at it. The kick that ties the game.
Well, Danny Ford's got a decision here. He can take the first down. Here you see the kick by Igwebuike. He's going to get his legs chopped out from under him. That's the flag. Now, Danny Ford's got to decide, does he want to take the points off the board or leave them up there?
Eric Hayes, number 19, came through. And I wouldn't be surprised if Danny Ford in this position decides to take the penalty. Yes, he is.
Yes. Generally, coaches do not like to take points off the board.
But with the way the offense is moving today, getting closer might really count in the long run.
Well, I think that's the confidence that he has in his own place kicker, too, though, Art. I think he feels if they come up to a fourth down situation again, he's got the kind of kicker that can go back in there and make it.
K.D. Dunn coming out of the lineup. Riggs replaces him at tight end. Rulak and Butler are the wideouts. Stacy Driver, the tailback. 51 seconds on the clock. Flowers trying for tough yardage up the middle. And Bruce Smith is right there once again. Well, they're running toward the string. Flowers comes out of that pile limping. And the clock continues to reel off. 29 seconds remaining before the quarter break. Ray Williams to the far side. And Sheldon Boyer comes to the near side.
On that last play, down in here now, Virginia Tech looks like they're lining up this man-to-man defense.
With Stacy Driver at tailback. Epley pitches back to Ray Williams over the burst. He's got all kinds of running room. He needs one more block by Cheatham. Touchdown. Steve Reese, number 63. The shadow block to allow him into the end zone.
Well, what a great call. The entire Virginia Tech defense is fooled. Here's Williams lined up in the slot. Epley running the option to his right, pitches it instead to Ray Williams. Steve Reese out there in front, and Williams just waltzes into the end zone.
Leon Gordon with that big guy, Steve Reese, 255 pounds worth of junior coming at him. And Reese did just the right thing. He was waiting for the defensive back to commit himself. Not springing too early. Igwebuike's kick is up, and Danny Ford's decision works out fine. Let's take another look at that touchdown run. What a nice play call.
Fake to Flowers, Epley down the line of scrimmage, looks just like the option. And here comes Ray Williams. Look at this. Reese just kind of stalking his defender. Clemson has not controlled the ball very much the second half, but again, they come up with a big play.
Ray Williams' second rushing touchdown in 2 rushing attempts. Williams' 18-yard run this time. Puts Clemson out in front by 4 points. They moved it 80 yards in 10 plays. 4 minutes and 14 seconds off the clock. With 9 seconds remaining before the quarter break. Williams' 18-yard run, putting Clemson ahead 14-10.
And really 2 key plays. One being the completion of Butler over the middle for the big gainer. The second play being the roughing the kicker, which put them closer to the goal line. Got the 7 points instead of the 3.
Bob Thomas, who averages 19.5 a return, awaits. Donald Igwebuike's kick is short. It might go to the up man. No. He gets it at the 3-yard line. Good running room as he moves it out to the 24-yard line. Making the tackle on the play is Carlin Box. So Thomas with a good run back. On one of the shorter kickoffs I've seen Igwebuike. He's got a little bit of a crosswind, Kim McQuilkin. It's not usual that you get a crosswind here at Frank Howard Field. Okay, Virginia Tech takes over now with 4 seconds remaining in the quarter. Cox has done a brilliant job at quarterback today. He goes back looking deep. He's got his man deep, too. Out at the 49-yard line is Donald Snell. So Donald Snell gets some immediate field position. As time has run out here in the 3rd quarter, watch Cox once again.
Well, it's a play-action pass. Cox lets it go right away. That's Snell. He found a hole in the Clemson secondary. 37, Tyrone Davis, and rotated up. No one came over to help him out. Big gainer.
With the score, Clemson 14, Virginia Tech 10. We'll pause now for word from your local station. The Tigers uproar for 84. The card section, a massive one on the far side of the field. As this capacity crowd enjoying A very tight, close, interesting football game. Clemson 14-10 over Virginia Tech. Cox, the quarterback, for the Hokies on a 1st and 10 at midfield. And off goes to Beckton, and Berlin makes the stop. Steve Berlin coming to the forefront. Oh, he put a helmet to Beckton that time. Berlin with 59 tackles on the year.
And as is so often the case, the offense makes a big play. It gets the defense psyched up. They come right out of the chute here in the 4th quarter, start off the quarter with a big play by Steve Berlin.
Michael Perry, William Perry, Wells, and Berlin. The up front crew for Clemson's Tigers. Michael Perry on the stop of Beckton this time. Well, the defense has spent an awful lot of time on the field during this football game. They've got to be tired, but as you say, the adrenaline is running high right now as Michael Perry, in his effort this year, in his freshman year, to surpass the freshman records of his older brother William, has just made phenomenal progress. Both Dwayne Meadows and Michael Perry, really, redshirt freshmen, have been excellent at that right tackle spot. Here's the 3rd and 6 from the 47-yard line. Around Wells, dribbles the football. Keith Williams in the tackle, along with Jeff Wells putting the pressure on.
The quarterback, Mark Cox, wanted to go to his tight end, Joe Jones, who was split out to his right. A little play-action pass. He wanted to go to the right, but what happened was the Clemson secondary rotated that way. They had a man short and a man deep on Joe Jones. It's the reason Cox had to eat the ball.
Williams, boy, they're glad to get him back into action after being injured the last few ball games. He knocked the ball loose. Here's Cox's punt. Pleasant fields it cleanly at the 11-yard line, and Clemson will take over 1st and 10, leading by 4 with 13:02 remaining in this football game. That injury situation has been key in this ball game, and that wide receiver Richard Butler did not start. He bruised his ribs on Wednesday at practice, and it was not known how serious that injury was, but he had workouts on Thursday and Friday. His status was up in the air, but they're sure happy to get Williams back at linebacker, especially since the injury to Walls. Stacy Driver. Driver hesitating momentarily on a pretty good arm tackle try, and then got up and ran for a couple of more yards before Bob Thomas makes the hit.
Well, just a play ago, we saw the graphic. Clemson still only has 62 yards on the ground. This is the point in the game where Danny Ford would really like to see his rushing attack assert itself. If they can get a sustained drive here with 12:37 remaining, it would certainly put them in the driver's seat.
Driver unofficially with only 2 carries for 10 yards. Gets another try at it. Stays on his feet. Nicely done. Close to the 1st down, but I don't believe he got it on the 2nd and 4. Bob Thomas once again coming up to make the stop, and Thomas having a great ball game.
There's Henry Carter, the fullback, throwing a block at the line of scrimmage, but really number 95, that's Cornell Urquhart.
He tried to trip him there. Rulak, the lone split receiver to the near side on a 3rd and 1, and of course the Hokies are stacking up the middle. Stacy Driver goes to the airways. And let's see, it all depends on where they place the football. 1st down, Clemson. Paul Nelson trying to get to it along with Ashley Lee.
Well, not much running room, but enough for the 1st down. Driver goes up top. Pretty good defense, but Clemson picks up the 1st down.
Number 88, Ashley Lee, established a new career record for interception return yardage for this ball club and has done a great job in that defensive secondary. There you see the 1st down differences. Rulak, what a great catch, and then he drops it coming down. Epley had him in the open and just couldn't get him the ball. So it'll be a 2nd and 10 from the 23-yard line.
All right, here's Epley, 3-step drop. Notice he's got the ball in good position up high.
Rulak looking up into
pass.
the sun, too.
We're used to seeing Terrence Rulak make those catches. Epley now 8 of 17, 123 yards.
K.D. Dunn, the tight end, number 81. On a 2nd and 10 from the 23-yard line. Tiger defense trying to give that, or offense trying to give the defense some rest time. Stacy Driver's got a good hold. And a nice tackle by Ashley Lee. The fullback giving a good block as he went through the line. Henry Carter.
Here we're going to see K.D. Dunn blocking on number 95. That's Jesse Penn. Dunn does a good job of neutralizing Penn, opening up the hole for Driver.
Stacy Driver now with 21 yards in the ball game. On 5 carries, they're starting to utilize him off tackle a lot more. 10:48 remaining in the ball game. 3rd down and 4 from the 29. Big 3rd down play. Pitch back to Tracy. And Stacy gets not quite to the 1st down marker. For Ray Fitz and Ashley Lee making the stop. Scramble down there for the football. But they're not going to give it to the Hokies, it doesn't appear.
Well, you can really feel the intensity down on the field. On this last series, on 3rd down, Clemson's been very close in making the 1st down. There's a lot of hitting going on. They're having to fight for every inch they get down there on the field.
Stacy Driver coming into the ballgame, the number 1 rusher with 550 yards, 7 touchdowns. Not known for his great long runs. He averages 4.6 yards a game. His longest this year has only been 20 yards, but he hits the hole so quickly with that initial burst of speed.
Well, he's the kind of player that always seems to pick up the important yards for you. I think they're going to be a little short on this measurement.
And with Dale Hatcher as a punter. Danny Ford's going with the percentages. You got a great punter. Kim, at halftime, you were commenting about the kicking game being a big factor in this contest, whether it be punts or field goals.
Well, I think in the 1st half, with the Clemson offense really not moving, Dale Hatcher was very significant in at least keeping Clemson in field position.
Averaging 47.3 yards a punt in this ball game. Myers will have to look up into the sun. A beautiful punt. Myers backpedaling to the 15-yard line. Gets to the outside, but good coverage, and he's down inside the 20. That's exactly what Danny Ford wanted. Scott Williams, the tackler. And with the score, Clemson 14, Virginia Tech 10. Let's pause for this word. So Dale Hatcher has a 54-yard punt. He came into this ballgame 12th in the nation, averaging 44.5 with very few runbacks. 10:18 remaining in this ballgame, and a penalty. Personal foul puts the ball up at the 34-yard line. So something happening on the tackle. Knox back to pass. Loading one. And it's caught and out of bounds by Terrence Howell, right between 2 defenders. Terrific touch.
Howell really gets up and catches this ball in a crowd. He's lined up in the slot, working across the field. Chucky Richardson on the coverage. Pretty good coverage by Clemson. Kenny Brown there also, but Howell just goes up in a crowd and comes down with the ball. Nice throw by Cox.
Well, Howell, 239 pounds and 6 foot tall, really just out-muscled Kenny Brown for the move. Not exactly the ball, but the move itself. 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. Very important drive for the Hokies. Handoff goes to Maurice Williams, and Maurice Williams does not get much running room. Craig Crawford coming out of the stack along with Ken Brown making the tackle. There's a concerned fan right now with 9:57 remaining in the ball game. Clemson with only a 4-point lead. It'll be 2nd and 8 from the 50.
Pick up on 2 yards.
Snell along with Thomas, Alan Thomas, the wide receivers, but they're in a pretty tight formation right now. That's Thomas.
It's like a blitz situation.
Double on the play. Clemson looks like they might have the football unless they overjumped it. Eldridge Milton, I believe, number 87. Oh, what a break. What a great break this time. The defense there to force a mistake.
Clemson came up, had everybody on the line of scrimmage. They blitzed. There you see Eldridge Milton blitzing. There's Steve Berlin, though. He gets his hand on the quarterback, disrupts the pitch play. 56, Chucky Richardson can't find the handle. There's Eldridge Milton finally on the ball.
And so the Clemson offense with a great break because of this man, Eldridge Milton. He was there because of the pursuit. Even up in turnovers now. Epley, pump fakes, going deep for Rulak. He let go of the ball, and Rulak got bumped. No call, though. No call. That should have been pass interference, Kim.
Well, Terrence Rulak certainly thinks so.
Now, this is the first time that Clemson has taken over the football in Virginia Tech territory in this ball game. Let's see if they can do something with it now with a 2nd and 10 call from the 43.
Well, Georgia Tech averaging 35 points a game coming into this ball game. I think they've had 10 games in a row where they've scored at least 20.
That's Griffin. Griffin leaps over the intended tackler. And he gets up to the 36-yard line where Daniels and Lee combined for the stop. Clemson coming into this game, as you noted, the big scoring that Clemson has had all year, Kim. The 4th in the nation right now at 35.6 a game. Their all-time record was set back in 1950, 32.9. The fullback Flowers on the carry up the middle, and Mark Webb is there to make the stop. He does not get the first down. I don't believe he made enough yardage for that first down. It was a 3rd and 4, and so another important decision by Danny Ford. And so Hatcher will try to put it deep as he can and still keep it in play. He's averaged 48.3. And he goes for the Empire State Building type kick with good coverage down there deep, and that's exactly what Clemson's Danny Ford had in mind. And Art Crawford downs the football.
5.1 hang time on that kick, which is just a tremendous hang time.
10 punts inside the 20 this year for this young man, Dale Hatcher, with the score. Clemson 14, Virginia 10. We'll pause now for a word from your local station. The tailback is Becton. With their backs to the wall at the 1-yard line. Knocks the quarterback, hands off to that fullback, and a nice spinning move out to the 5 or 6-yard line. Bo is finally picked off by Keith Williams. So a good first down play here.
Yes, this is a very critical 5 yards made here by Nigel Bo on first down. Really gives them a lot more operating room.
Terrence Mack also underneath that pile to get him around the ankles. What a fine play by Bo. The senior fullback from Hampton, Virginia. Lines up in front of the tailback with 7:22 on the clock. 2nd and 5 from the 6-yard line. Pitch back. Good play that time. And in on the stop was Jeff Wells on the tailback Becton. Kenny Danforth came blitzing through to submerge him. Becton now with 37 yards.
Here's the toss sweep. You see the Clemson pursuit. Danforth penetrating into the backfield, stopping them for no gain.
3rd and 5 from the 6-yard line.
And this is a tough call. 6:48 left in the game. You're on your own 6-yard line, 3rd and 5.
Becton and Bo, the running backs. The Save Cox goes to the air deep in his own territory with a 5-yard try for a pickup over the middle. He goes for the big guy. I don't think, well, he might have surged forward for the first down. Depends on where they place the football. Yes, it is a first down. Chucky Richardson, the linebacker, with the huge assignment of trying to corral 6'4" Joe Jones.
Well, when in doubt, I guess you go to your best receiver. There we even see some holding on the part of one of the Clemson defenders, but they go to their money man. That's Joe Jones. He's their leading receiver. He can catch the ball in a crowd. Very big first down for Virginia Tech.
You can see why he's their leading receiver. 1st and 10 from the 12-yard line. 6:11 on the clock. The tailback. Becton Beckton, they're sealing him off pretty well now as Eldridge Milton sliding down the line from his linebacker spot to make the tackle. Virginia Tech not getting the big holes in the rushing game here in the fourth quarter yet. 2nd and 8 from the 14-yard line for the Hokies. Lots of time remaining as they trail by 4. Clemson 14-10. Williams in a tailback. Cox follows the football, and Steve Berlin just couldn't see it. Michael Perry with the great rush. Key play defensively there. Let's watch Michael Perry crash in, Kim.
Well, good pressure by the Clemson front line. Perry's being double teamed. And that was Michael Perry from behind who came free, jarred the ball loose.
5:43 on the clock.
Boy, if you thought 3rd and 5 was a tough call a few plays ago, 3rd and 17 on your own 6-yard line is a real tough call.
Yeah, they talk about William Perry being so big, but that guy's not small. Steve Berlin comes out of the ball game, 6'5", 265 they list him at. He looks bigger than that. Looks like he got a shoulder hurt or an arm extended hurt. Maybe a hyperextension of that elbow, maybe. The ball placement is at the 5-yard line where the Hokies will have a 3rd and 17 with 5:43 on the clock. See if we can see Berlin here, Kim.
Right, there is Steve Berlin to the left of the screen. Can't really tell.
Something to do with the elbow, though, or the lower arm. Maurice Williams is the tailback out of his own end zone, but Cox goes back to toss a screen. Nicely covered by Terrence Mack, the Bandit. Also helping out linebacker Eldridge Milton as they hit Williams on the screen, but the defense was there to cover.
Well, a good defensive call by Clemson. Cox wants to set up the screen. Look at him scrambling for his life back in his own end zone. Gets the ball up, and look at Terrence Mack, Eldridge, Milton out there in good position.
Cox is in the punt. David Cox averaging 42.6 in this ball game. Reggie Pleasant just wants to secure the football, and now he wants to run with it. Get a few extra yards as he twists his way to the 46-yard line. Nice job. Andy Ambers made the tackle on him, the young freshman from Leesburg, Virginia. The number 29, Reggie Pleasant, doing his job in a very secure way this afternoon, even on the fair catches. Very sure-handed. 4:47 on the clock. Clemson holding on to a 4-point lead. The defense for Clemson has had so much time on the field today, and the offense now tries to hold on to that lead. Kenny Flowers, the ball carrier. Urquhart making the stop on the play, but not before a gain of 3 yards, so it'll be 2nd and 7. From the 42. The Hokies have 3 timeouts remaining with 4:19 now on the clock. It's Charleston to the far side and Ray Williams to the near side. Carter's the fullback, Griffin the tailback, Griffin the carrier. Griffin gets a great block. It was number 63, Steve Reese, that pried open the door. And Ashley Lee makes the tackle. K.D. Dunn will see him come in here, too.
Oh, we've been waiting all afternoon for the Clemson ground game to assert itself. There you see Reese on a fine block. That springs Griffin. Really the first big rushing play other than the end around for the touchdown that Clemson's had all afternoon.
Stacy Driver, the leading ball carrier in this game for Clemson with only 24 yards. Griffin just picked up his 23rd yard. 1st and 10 from the 31. Griffin again. They like to use that clock as much as possible right now and keep it rolling. As he gets inside the 30-yard line, a gain of maybe 4 on the play. We'll check to see the placement.
And Virginia Tech now gambling a little bit more on defense, trying to blitz into the gaps. Even on running plays, you sometimes will try to blitz into the run play itself.
Bruce Smith making the tackle
Gain of 4.
After the 4-yard gain, it's 2nd and 6 from the 28 with the clock moving at 3:35, fourth quarter. Swing over the ball at center. Kenny Flowers, the fullback. And Griffin gets cut behind the line by guess who? Bruce Smith slams into the turf.
Oh, just great quickness on this play by Bruce Smith. Look at the pursuit. The play was going away from him, but his quickness gets him to the ball.
Bruce Smith from Norfolk, Virginia.
There's 9 here.
His favorite sport was actually basketball. Can you believe it? He looks forward to professional football. 3rd and 10 from the 31. Good thing they handed off to Kenny Flowers. He at least gets a gain out of the play as Epley was surrounded.
Well, what that's going to do is set up about a 45-yard field goal attempt. There's Bruce Smith staying at home. Look at the lick he puts on Kenny Flowers.
Boy, he gets a good short punch in there with the body, doesn't he? Peretti to hold. Williams, Scott Williams to snap the ball for number 18, Donald Igwebuike. There you see his impressive stats, hitting 30 of 41 tries in his career. Ball placement at the 34-yard line. Plenty of distance. Does it have the accuracy? Yes, it does. So Clemson takes a very important 7-point lead with 2 minutes, 11 seconds remaining in this ball game. It is Clemson 17, Virginia Tech 10. Game 1:45 remaining in the game. Gets it away, and he gets out of bounds. They haven't used the timeout yet. Donald Snell, the reception.
Well, Greenwood really showed me something on this play. He had Jeff Wells all over him. Still got the ball off. Good timing play. The out pattern. Here we'll see it. It's just a 5-step drop. Look at Wells all over him, but look at the strength in his arm. Wasn't even able to follow through, but he got the ball out there in plenty of time. 2nd and 5.
Greenwood, a junior, just like the other quarterback, Mark Cox. Looked like somebody might have jumped, but it wasn't called. Greenwood being chased by Michael Perry. Gets caught from behind. Wells knocking the ball loose. And let's check it to see who recovered that football. It looks like Milton.
The official is going to rule incomplete pass. He's ruling that it's an incomplete pass. They're going to bring it back. Virginia Tech's ball.
Let's check it out again.
All right, here's Greenwood. He's got time, but nobody open. He decides to run.
Oh.
Well, it looked like it was going back to me, not forward.
It was not going forward at all. It was a great play by Jeff Wells. 1:32 remaining in the football game. 3rd and 4 here in the fourth quarter. Greenwood gets the rush, but gets it away. Possible first down. Let's check to see it. It's a penalty. It'll be a face mask, I believe. Terrence Howell getting tackled by Terrence Mack.
Well, I'll tell you, Greenwood has come off the bench. He's just walked into that quarterback position with all the confidence in the world. He's delivering the ball on time. I'm impressed with both of the quarterbacks that Bill Dooley has.
And it's a face mask. You can see the receiver down on the ground saying, hey, let's call it. And it goes out to midfield.
I'm sure Bill Dooley, although we don't know if Cox is injured or not, but his team has not moved the ball in the second half. He felt they needed a spark. So far, Greenwood provided it.
1:23 on the clock. Still 3 timeouts available. 7 points down. Cox back to pass. This could go down to the wire. Did he catch it in bounds? No, he did not. Didn't have the feet in. Donald Snell did not have 1 foot in.
What a great move Snell makes for the ball.
He's got to have the 2 in there.
Greenwood, a 5-step drop, sitting over his guard, pump fake. Look at the strong arm. Snell, oh, what a fine effort. Looks like he juggled it there, out of bounds.
That must have been the call, possession. He did a nice job dragging his knees and feet. 1:13 on the clock, 17-10 Clemson. Greenwood back to cross again. Unloads it too short, intended for Jones. He had a great rush going, though. Dwayne Meadows, number 84.
Well, Todd, Greenwood rolling to his left is a difficult throw, but it's even more difficult when you've got a Clemson defender right in your face. Here we see Joe Jones lined up in the slot. He's just going to go down and hook to the outside. Ball's behind him because Todd Greenwood had somebody in his face.
3rd and 10 now.
Big play here, Art.
50-yard line. Greenwood back, good protection, and can't get rid of the ball in time. What a rush by Craig Crawford. He was the first one to hit him, number 49. There's Mark Cox looking on. As now Todd Greenwood at the controls with a 4th and 10 from the 50. Gets it away, and it's out of bounds.
We've got a flag down in the Virginia Tech backfield. Could be holding.
Let's check it out. They really flooded the central zone going down. But Greenwood was throwing to a lone receiver on the right side who was covered. And he wanted to make sure, I guess, he wasn't intercepted because he threw it too far. But with 57 seconds left in the game and a 4th down, I'd almost chance it throwing into the coverage. Wouldn't you, Kim?
Yeah, I agree. I think that time he just couldn't find anyone, but on 4th down, you always like to give yourself a chance.
57 seconds on the clock. Epley, who's gone the distance at quarterback. Brulac, number 15, split to the near side. And it's Stacy Driver at tailback. Driver on the carry. Doesn't quite get back to the line of scrimmage, but that clock will reel down. 46 seconds remaining in the football game. A delay of game puts it back to the 45 on a 2nd and 15, and Driver once again just trying to get the clock rolling as Virginia Tech now going after their final timeout. And no longer do they have the ability to stop the clock. 3rd down and 15 at the 45. Epley on the roll, wants to stay inbounds and takes the baseball slide down as Vince Daniels catches up with him. No more timeouts for the Hokies, so the clock has to run out. 25 seconds on the clock and rolling. Clemson 17, Virginia Tech 10.
Well, that'll do it.
Just a concerted effort by Clemson to hang in there and come back as Virginia Tech doing a terrific job. And Epley is the first guy to go over to the big Bruce Smith and shake hands, the 276-pounder. Bill Dooley a little down, a little dejected as they had Clemson on the wire. And Clemson came back for victory as time runs out. The cannon sounds. And it's Clemson 17, Virginia Tech 10.